Hello, greetings, and welcome to Dividend Blasters. This is our 30th video. Topic today, companies that have announced dividend increases in May. Already, we've seen over 100 announcements carrying us through the end of the month so far. Now, I got to tell you, as a dividend investor, I get excited when I read these announcements. I immediately go to work and I am looking to see, hey, is this something I want to buy? Is this something that I think is a good value for my money? So immediately I went to work and I started delving into the details. And of the 100, I've identified 11 that I would consider investing in. That's been my approach here for this video. The ones that I would consider investing in, I've identified, and I'm going to share them with you. And I will also tell you that in addition to the 11, I have identified 4 others that were very close that I would probably be fine investing in, but I would probably hold back a little because they don't quite meet all of my criteria for a dividend growth investment. So we're going to get to that. So let's move on. Quick disclaimer before we do. I am not your financial advisor. The purpose of this video is for information and your education. It reflects my own personal opinions, which are underpinned by my experience as an independent investor for more than 30 years, as well as additional research that I do. So I urge you, before undertaking a financial investment decision, please do your own research and consult a licensed professional financial advisor prior to making any decisions. All right, let's move on. All right, on this slide, you see the list. All right, you see the ticker symbol, you see the name of the company, the date of the announcement, the dollar amount of the new dividend, the previous dividend amount, the percentage increase, the dividend yield percentage. Now, I got these. Let me just stop for a second. I got these from my trusty Market Beat resource, of which I subscribe to. And then the next few columns, like the dividend growth rate or the DGR 5-year, the CAGR, and I got from Seeking Alpha. The hurdle I calculated, that is my metric. And I don't want to just say it's mine. A lot of us dividend growth investors have a hurdle where I like to see a 10% threshold met or exceeded. How do you get the 10%? It's the sum of the dividend yield and the CAGR. Okay, so for Pool Corporation, we are calculating a 23.94% hurdle because it's the sum of the 1.24% yield and the 22.7% CAGR. All right. Then I'm looking at the payout ratio. Also got that out of Seeking Alpha. I don't like to see a payout ratio more than 60%. Okay, this is a safety measure. Okay, if it's under 60, that tells me that the company is meeting its dividend payout easily. If it's more than 60, I'm wondering maybe their earnings aren't high enough to sustain that dividend payout. I get concerned. Dividend growth streak. I like to see at least 5 years of dividend payments that are growing, 5 consecutive years. Remember, we did a video a while ago on dividend aristocrats and dividend kings. Those companies have been paying increasing dividends for 25 consecutive years. The aristocrats, the kings, 50 years. Here, I'm just looking for 5 consecutive years. I want to see a pattern of dividend growth. So that's what I'm looking for. So there's 15 companies listed here. 4 of them are shaded in orange. Those are the alternates. They're close. And let me handle them first. Apple is a wonderful company. I used to own several shares of Apple for several years. The 2 reasons why at this point I would not go back into Apple. First, let me just say that they are increasing their dividend 4.35%. I think that's wonderful. Okay. So However, the yield is still kind of low. It's 0.58%, but that is a beautiful CAGR of 7.87%. The payout ratio is a very manageable 15.62%. I love that. And they've increased their dividends for 9 consecutive years. So why would I say no? Well, of the metrics, it's a little bit under. It's basically the hurdle rate is not 10%, it's 8.45%. I want to see 10%. Now, guess what? I really would not invest in Apple because I'm looking for dividends. I look at Apple as obviously a growth stock, okay, and a marquee company. So, when I look at actually, let me go back. When I look at the hurdle rate, I probably would not hesitate to go back in. But another reason, and probably a more overriding reason, is they currently have a significant exposure to the People's Republic of China, where they do a lot of manufacturing of their products there. And so their supply chain is a little bit at risk. So that's why I don't want any interruption in the supply chain, because that could impact sales and revenue and profits. So that's why. I would like to see that hurdle rate higher. Yes. Okay. But so that's secondary. The primary is really the supply chain and the exposure to China. Now, I understand Tim Cook has been investigating India, looking to expand some operations in India. We're going to watch that. We'll see how that goes. Okay, next one is PepsiCo. PepsiCo is a good company. They are a dividend king. They've been doing it for 50 years. So impressive. Okay, you can see that they're increasing their dividend an impressive 10%. That's phenomenal. And their hurdle is 10.02%. So why am I saying no at this point? Their payout ratio is a little bit high. Now, do I think that there's a risk of them cutting their dividend or not increasing their dividend? I think it's very remote. I think they will keep it going. I just get concerned when I see that payout ratio is over 60%. How could they manage that? Well, they could cut their dividend, which I would not want them to do, or they could increase their earnings. That's really what they need to do. Can they do that? I don't know. It's a very big, mature company. We'll see. But I wanted to mention them. Again, these are alternates or honorable mentions. Pepsi is a dividend king, and they increased their dividend 10%, which is really impressive. Next one is Sonic Automotive. It's not a company I am familiar with. They have a hurdle rate of more than 40%. Wow. Okay. Their payout ratio is a very, very manageable 12.3%. But their growth streak is only 2 years. So, you know what? When I see that hurdle of 40.73%, I look at it with a bit of a skeptical eye. And then when I see that their growth streak has only been 2 years, I want to know if that is a sustainable dividend yield. Are they going to be able to sustain that? Are they going to be able to continue to grow their dividend? So, they don't have 5 years. I would watch them, see how they do after 3, 4, and 5 years. If they have a continually growing dividend after 5 years, and they are meeting the hurdle rate, okay, of 10%, I would consider them. Now, you know what? If I see that hurdle rate go down from 40 to 10, I might wait another couple of years because they're setting the bar high. So we're going to watch them. How about that? Last one that we would consider, but probably say no, is Cisco. Now, Cisco is a very well-regarded, retail consumer staples company, essentially. They have a hurdle of 9.93%. So they're right under. Their payout ratio is 51%. Their growth streak is 7 years. So when I see that, I think, wow, okay, that is good. They are very close to meeting that hurdle, but they're just a little bit under. And for that reason, I'm holding back. And, also Even though the payout ratio is less than 60, it's more than 50. So it's getting up there. So I would watch them if I see the hurdle go up over 10%. So for instance, if I see the yield come up or I see the CAGR go up a little bit, I would prefer to see the CAGR go up because I think it basically makes the yield more manageable. I'd consider them. So anyway, those are the 4 alternates. The other 11, some of them you've heard of, some of them you probably have not. Pool Corporation, I got to tell you, I like that hurdle rate, a little under 24%, and they're doing it with a payout ratio of again, under 24%. And they've been increasing for 12 straight years. They're going ex-dividend May 16th. So you got a little bit of time to buy in. You know, it's not a cheap stock. It's $353, and the payout, the PE ratio is just an eyelash under 21. It is less than the S&P 500 PE, but it's up there. So anyway, something to think about. Another company which I'm not familiar with, and I do follow the chip market fairly closely, is Microchip Technology, ticker symbol MCHP. I'm sorry. They got a decent hurdle rate of 13.77%, and the payout ratio is very manageable, a little under 21%, and the growth streak, 19 years. I got to tell you, I like the price of $75. PE ratio, a little bit under 21, so something to consider. Fact Set Research Systems, FDS. Hurdle rate, 10.6%. Payout ratio, 24%. They've been doing it and increasing it for 23 years. Give them a look. Now, let me say one thing about FDS. They are not a bank, but they are a financial services company. They're a business development company. They lend money to companies, usually startups. They do a little bit of venture capital. There's a bunch of them out there, and I used to own several of them. I would take a look at this one. Take a closer look at it. It's not a bank. It's a BD company. So it's kind of in the financial sector, but it's not a bank. So that's my rationale for keeping them in. I do like utilities at this time, and it's basically Chesapeake Utilities. I like that hurdle rate of 12.18%. Look at that 5-year CAGR, 10.5%. The payout ratio is very manageable, and you tend to see higher payout ratios with the utilities. It's a little under 43%, but you know what? They've been increasing for 19 years, and they're going ex-dividend June 14th, and the cost is $127. The PE ratio is a little high, okay, just a little bit more than the S&P 500, but you're getting a little bit more safety. Next one, Watts Water Technologies. Well, this is a machine company, and they are basically having a hurdle of 10.43%. It's a very modest yield, less than 1%, but it's a monster 5-year CAGR, 9.6%. And they're doing it with a very manageable payout ratio of 16%, increasing their dividend for 10 years. They're going ex-dividend May 31st. Next one, Expeditors International of Washington. It's an air freight and logistics company, and they got a decent hurdle of almost 10.9%. The yield is modest, a little over 1%, but that again is another monster CAGR, almost 9.8%, and that payout ratio, 17.5%. All right, look at that, 19 years, very nice, very nice. You know what? You got to like that PE ratio, 15.4, well under the S&P 500s. CNA Financial got a winning hurdle of 11.4%, and they're getting it done with a very manageable payout ratio of 42%. They've been increasing for 6 years. They're going ex-dividend May 12th, so you got about a week. Next one, SJW Group. This is a water utilities company, and they got a very respectable, decent hurdle of 10.26%. They're getting it done with a payout ratio of about 55%. And they've been increasing that dividend for 17 years. And you know, you see a pattern with a lot of these companies here, especially the utilities, but the companies, they have modest or lower yields, but the CAGR is high. So the rate of increase is aggressive, but the yield is manageable. And that's why you're seeing these payout ratios are manageable and the growth streaks are impressive. So I would say yes to SJW. Avery Dennison. Well, it's a paper company and a packaging company. And I love that hurdle of 12.46%. Again, nice yield, 1.7%. Not great, but that CAGR of 10.8% is very nice. And look at the payout ratio, 35.5%. There is a lot of room for dividend growth with Avery Dennison, and they've been increasing for 12 years. They're going ex-dividend June 6. AGCO. I don't know much about them. They're a machinery company, but look at this. They've been increasing their dividend for 9 consecutive years. They got a nice hurdle rate of 13.36%. Payout ratio is very low, 7%. That to me says it's a very safe dividend. And look at the PE ratio. This is a fairly decently priced stock. Now you look at it, it's 127 bucks. Okay, the earnings are pretty decent. Take a closer look at it. Last one, Parker Hannifin. Parker Hannifin is a machine company, and they got a really nice hurdle rate of almost 17%. And it's basically, again, it's a very modest yield, a little under 2%, but that 5-year CAGR, 15%. And I like that payout ratio of a little under 26%. This is a safe dividend. They have a lot of room for dividend growth, and they've been doing it for 6 consecutive years. So they're in. They're going ex-dividend June 2nd. Folks, that is it. I hope you found this informative. I wanted to keep it light and I wanted to keep it short. You have the list. Please let me know in the comments box if you have any questions or suggestions. If you want me to provide the entire list, I'm happy to do it, but you got to ask. So if you would, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel, Dividend Blasters. And feel free to share the video with a friend or a family member. Until our next video, have a wonderful day and God bless.